If we don't do enough, Canadians will continue to endure the hardship of high inflation.
Well, that's the governor of the Bank of Canada laying out the case for raising interest rates now and then again in the months to come, something that's already bringing a lot of hardship to Canadians. But here's the thing, are interest rate hikes the only option here? For more on that, I'm joined by economist Armine Yalnizyan. So, Armine, I really need to start, though, with something that on the face of it's kind of confusing. The Bank of Canada said today, look, Canada is doing better than the EU and the US, better than many nations. If that is so, why add this extra pain of the 6th rate hike in a year?
Because inflation is still unbelievably high. And there are so many people that cannot tolerate an increase in prices because they have no wiggle room in their incomes. So they can't do nothing. They've got one job. Their job is to stabilize prices. And they're using the one tool they've got, which is higher interest rates, to try and tame inflation, though even they acknowledge that they're not going to be the only gimmick that tames inflation.
Well, in terms of taming inflation, clearly, if that is the aim, obviously it is, then why are they so stubbornly high at the pump? Why are they so stubbornly high at grocery stores? And what on earth are people supposed to do?
Such a good question, Adrienne, because what the Bank of Canada governor is calling excess demand is also inadequate supply, and that's what's driving the prices up at the gas pumps. That's what's driving the prices up at grocery stores. And so consequently, raising rates isn't going to do anything about increasing the crop yield for flour. It's not going to do anything to add cooking oil to the markets. Pasta isn't going to suddenly appear on the shelves because bank rates went up. And those are the main things that are really escalating in food prices right now. So they're fully acknowledging that, but they're also acknowledging that they can't do nothing. So they're doing something, and the one thing they know how to do.
But is the Bank of Canada really all we've got? I mean, it's a big tool in the box, but it's not the only one.
It may be the only macroeconomic tool we have because we really can't tame prices any other way other than actually capping prices. We've got a terrible history of capping prices in this country, but we have a pretty good set of other tools for easing the pinch of inflation and for actually tapping into excess profits, because there are some companies that are making out like bandits through the pandemic, and especially in this period of shorter supply. So there's plenty of things we can do. They just aren't connected to monetary policy. And frankly, the people that are saying that the Bank of Canada is doing too much, I just ask them, what do you want to see done? Because we can't do nothing. It will hurt people on fixed incomes, who are seniors, who are people who are unemployed, and people who are living on disability. We're talking about millions of people that have got no room to move, and something has to be done for them.
One last thought briefly, Armine, everybody keeps talking about a recession as a presumption that it's going to happen. What's not clear to me is what kind of recession this will be. What are we in for?
I'm not sure what we're in for either. Unemployment rates are still at half-century lows. We've still got an awful lot more jobs begging than people that can fill them. So this isn't going to be the typical trade-off between inflation and unemployment. But what we are going to see that we haven't seen in past recessionary periods where unemployment spikes is more people struggling to keep a roof over their heads and keep themselves fed, even when they've got a job that's full-time and full year. So we're heading into a very rough fall, and we need more than rising bank rates to deal with the problems we're facing.
Okay, hang in, everybody. Armine, thank you very much.
My pleasure.